On this episode, all the recap from the Miami Grand Prix. Is everything fake? Does everything need a police escort? Is everything ridiculous and helmet based? Who knows? But we'll talk about it all here on the Track Limits podcast. So what's more ridiculous, Harrison? The basketball helmet of Lando or the football helmets on the podium?
Definitely the football helmets on the podium.
You weren't a fan of that?
No, that was so silly. The basketball helmet was silly, but the driver's helmets are meant to be fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, the football helmets on the podium, that was just kind of dumb. And it was kind of like a
peak Miami.
It's like, why? This is so dumb.
Well, hello, everyone, silliness. And welcome to our silliness, the American ridiculousness that you are watching. From the Grand Prix weekend on Sunday continues here on the Track Limits podcast. My name is Taylor. I'm joined here as always by my friend who is about to turn 30 years old just in a few days. Please welcome Harrison Powell.
Hello.
Okay. The responses get shorter and shorter as the intros get more and more meaningful.
I literally just say hello every single time. That's one thing.
Hello. Anyway, what a great weekend, I wish I could say, at the Miami Grand Prix. You know what? It was a fine race. George knows when a safety car is going to come. Lewis has to rely on his engineers to decide when he needs to pit, and then they just ask him. Lando spins. It's just great. Great all the way around, right?
I mean, I think we might have different viewpoints on this, but let's talk about the Mercedes first, and then we'll get into it. But You made the point of the Lewis. I made a joke last week where I said I think Lewis is the number 2 driver at Mercedes now.
Mm-hmm.
And if I hadn't known that I was joking, you could probably say I could double down on that joke after this week with the strategy call, with the car itself. I mean, George was bad, but somehow finished ahead of Lewis. They had the chance to bring him in and get the soft tires. Didn't do it. They just kept George out there. They made the right call. Lewis didn't make the right call.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like when it comes down to a split-second decision like that, it's hard when it comes to that to realize that he is a 7-time world champion, because it seems like he's a rookie every single time it comes down to that split-second decision.
It's always Mercedes strategy calls mess up. But did you ever get the feeling, I was seeing online, people talking about that they were asking Lewis because they were actually kind of afraid to say that he was going to get behind George?
Oh,
and they didn't want to be involved in that.
I don't know.
But he was going to get past anyway.
Either way, I think if they would have made the call right off the bat, he would have been fine. And he would have gone back past on the soft tires anyways, I think. Or they would have swapped them. I don't know. It's just, I know it's a hard call, but it just seems like every time they get in that situation, they don't know what they're doing. Yet somehow they still win. Now, granted, not now, but
no,
in the past.
So let's talk about the weekend in and of itself. What did you...
Here's what I was gonna ask. If you had to rate this entire weekend, Thursday through Sunday, out of 10, what are you giving it?
7.5, 8.
Oh, okay, that's better. I would have thought you would have gone way less than that.
No. I texted you in the middle of the race. Well, at the beginning of the race, God bless America, just because seeing all those very nice sports cars driving the drivers around, and so Lewis posted a video where it's like, this guy's actually playing music. Yeah. It's pretty great. I thought that was fun, and compared to the party bus we get on some places, I thought that was fun. I think the drivers really embraced it. I don't think they really embraced the track so much. I think there were definitely some track problems. Based on some things on Twitter, there was some hospitality issue problems. You really lucked out if you got a grandstand ticket, because you had a much better experience than somebody who paid a hospitality ticket. Apparently, rumors are it was not up to the standards of Formula One, or whatever. I haven't seen pictures of that. I have seen a few pictures where people pay, $8,000 for a seat in a hospitality area, and there was no assigned seating, and people are just first come, first served, and it's a metal stool that's in the middle of the floor, and you can't see anything. We made a joke about the beach chairs that are around the turn over there in the beach area, and it's actually lower than the barrier, so that was a little weird. Everyone keeps talking about the marina. I thought the marina was fine. People know what they're. I mean, obviously
It
people
was
were
it was
there.
silly, but
Yes, but I
it
mean,
wasn't the
people were
worst.
there, and it was like, it's getting fun on the back. I saw one that said, hey, I want Monaco, and they say, not now, honey. We've got Monaco at home, and your Monaco at home is
Is
the
Miami.
Miami yacht in the turn. Anywho, I thought it was funny. I do want to say that I think that our don't take out your hate that you have to watch. This is for international listeners who aren't listening to this podcast. Don't take out your hate on the race time and all the pageantry uh, just because you hate. I understand people are getting frustrated with US races. I think that's what makes them fun. I mean, this is kind of an American race to me. I mean, we've got NASCAR races where people throwing watermelons off the top of cars. I thought to this was just very tame. There were people complaining about the streamers used. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
the
you're
confetti.
just what are you looking for? I mean, in Mexico, they're blowing it into the engine. It was the name of one of our episodes, confetti in the engine.
Yep.
I don't, of all the things to complain about, I did think it was funny. Like, here's your trophy for winning, Max. And oh, by the way, you also get a Dan Marino
Hey,
signed
low key,
Miami Dolphins
that's
outfit.
actually kind of cool.
And Dan Marino hands you the trophy. I mean,
That's actually
that's
kind of
pretty
cool.
nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
um, I do think that I'm really not liking the celebrity culture that Formula One is really pushing for an American audience. I don't really see this in other tracks. I have seen it, Silverstone, I think, what was it? Harrison Ford was there and whoever else, Tom Cruise. But I'm just really getting sick of it.
Yeah, but I was thinking about this today. So I'll back up and give
Mhm.
my rating is
Oh
I give
yeah,
it
I've kind of
I
just
give it
blown by that for you.
I give it a
Sorry.
6.5,
Oh.
but with a few tweaks, could be 10 out of 10. If you
Okay.
fix the chicane in the underpass section, get rid of that,
Mhm.
fix that. I don't know why are we going under a highway? Um, the asphalt itself tearing up, obviously. But and then if you move it to about 2-3 hours later, let us have an evening race in Miami. Sun's going down. It's not as hot. The drivers aren't about to
Mhm.
die while they're out there in the heat and the humidity. The track's not ripping up.
Mhm.
Give us give us that, and then do away with some of the silliness. I mean, we don't need football helmets on the podium. I mean, we had enough American silliness. But yeah, do away with the helmets and just give them the hats. But if you move that race back about 3 hours, have it a 6 p.m. Now I know that sucks for like European watchers because heaven forbid them have to stay up for a race, a couple more hours like we would have to normally or get up early.
Oh, the
Uh,
humanity.
but I just feel like it would have been a much better race. And it might give some grip somewhere else on the track. Track's not going to tear up. But what I'll say about the celebrity thing is, as I was thinking about this today, it was a bit annoying that, and I get some of the criticism of, people were there and didn't even know. Like, I think somebody said, Karun Chandok tweeted, like, I really like being in the paddock and, having to tell somebody there's a race going on or something. I
Mhm.
get the criticism of like people are just there because it's an event and it's in Miami and there's a lot of famous people there and it's
Yeah.
like the thing to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like the sport needs that in a way to grow because the sport's not going to grow if we only race at Spa, Austria, Monza, Silverstone, right? Like people are going to know it's there. It's going to have its niche audience. We're going to know it's there. We're going to love it. but it's not going to draw the attention of somebody new, right? Like Tom Brady posted on Instagram about it, Michael Jordan being there, all these big name celebrities being there and converging on it are drawing eyes that would never have been drawn to Suzuka, great tracks. So in order to grow the sport, you need the great tracks, but you also need the spectacles. Now, obviously we already have Monaco, but it's not America. America's where you're going to bring the money in. And I think as I was thinking about it, it's kind of like this is the problem that NASCAR has dealt with for a long time. And not to keep bringing NASCAR up, but NASCAR has its appeal, but it doesn't have the spectacle. Like they race right outside of Los Angeles, and 90% of celebrities would never go.
Never.
Where Formula One comes to Miami and just puts on a show, right? It was a festival vibe all weekend. You had the different, I texted you, I said, this race was just built for Instagram. You've got beaches, fake marinas, which the fake marina honestly could have looked, I told you, like it could have looked cool if it had just been a little bit bigger, because when the camera got on it, it just looked like it just stopped. Like the water just stopped. You couldn't tell that they had tried to slope it off. It just got kind of stopped, and it was like, oh, that just half done. But I feel like the sport needs the spectacle and the celebrity buzz. Now, obviously, sometimes it's a little overboard. And like I said, like the silliness of the police escort to the podium. I mean, what's more American than cop cars or cop motorcycles driving you somewhere?
I think what people didn't understand with that also is that the podium, I saw it at the beginning of the show. It's not even close to the,
it's on the other side of the stadium.
Side of the stadium. So they had to go through there, and everyone and their mother could go through the stadium at that point. I mean, you saw them
it makes sense when you know that. Yeah.
Yes.
If you could have just if they could have just blocked it off and had them ride golf carts there, it would have been fine. Or just moved it closer.
Yeah.
What it was.
They wanted it right there. They wanted in front of that Dan Marino statue.
Because he was going to be there. And that was,
he was going to be there.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, it's annoying because obviously, like for us, we're getting outpriced for these events because people are just going to go and they don't care. And that's annoying. But I think if we truly want the sport to expand, which some people do, some people don't, they want it to be their own thing. And I get that. But if you want the sport to expand, this is the perfect, here's an example of how to grow something, and let Miami just be that. And then maybe another, in the future, we get more of those tracks, and then the Silverstones get built up and the spas, and they get to stick around because nobody's always just going to Spa to hang out. It's not like race fans are going, but Dwayne Wade's not showing up and, at Spa Francorchamps. You know what I mean? You kind of need it to get the eyes on it. And to be fair, the race was actually pretty good. It had the second most overtakes in the season. It was boring.
If only they showed it.
People were complaining about it being boring, but look where we're going next week. So, I mean, the F1 direction, the TV direction, that's a whole nother topic. I mean, they're just, Charles is going for a move, and let's cut to the crowd cam. Watch him go by the crowd. Cool, we get it. People are there.
Yeah.
We don't need a camera on
Sometimes I saw pictures. I'm like, ooh, maybe I'm glad I didn't get tickets for there. Anyway.
It would have been a terrible, I don't know that it would have been fun for the normal race fan. But again, I do think it is good for the sport to be there. Take it for what it's worth.
Yeah. The popularity of Formula One, I think this is really turning into one of those, I liked the band before it was cool kind of thing. I'm hearing that more and more. These people don't know anything about Formula One. I get that from the celebrity standpoint. It's obvious some people don't even, say they're a Formula One fan, don't even know who Martin Brundle is. And at the end, Martin Brundle doesn't even know who some people are.
He thinks Patrick Mahomes is a 7-foot basketball player.
I didn't see who it ended up being. I saw who it was.
Paolo Banchero or something like that.
Oh, very nice.
Played at Duke.
And
what a moment. What a moment.
And every social media influencer on the face of the earth happened to be there. The grid was just packed. I mean, it was making me claustrophobic watching him walk through. I can't even get to.
They need more regulation on that. That's not. I don't feel like that's safe.
No,
to have so many people out there, which is, I mean, it's cool. It's cool, but at a certain point, we do have to step back and say safety. concerns.
I mean, what's to take somebody, someone coming in with like some special material, you can't even see it. It's like some of that
Throwing
aerogel,
it
you
on the
just throw it in the
Ferrari.
intake, and you're like, take that.
Say they'd catch that, but yeah, I get it. Yeah, I don't know. And
But,
I to go to your point of, that I like the band before it was cool. Like I do feel that from a lot of people because it's like Formula One was like your thing. And now you've got so and so who has so many more, like such a big following coming in, and then everybody's like, oh, they're so smart, and they knew Formula One, and then it's like, well, it's cool that they're a fan, but it was my thing, and then you kind of feel like a ownership of it before them, and then you're like, well, now it's going too mainstream, and we're losing what we want. But if you want the sport to get bigger and continue doing what it's doing, then you kind of need some of those things.
Well, just wait till you see all those showgirls at the Las Vegas GP.
If Vegas is anything like Miami, if they can get the track figured out and the asphalt, and now obviously in Vegas, there's going to be a lot of silly things. And we just got to prepare. Now, I will say, we had a segment last week where it was, what's the craziest thing that's going to happen? But I don't think even we were prepared for the amount of silly that was about to happen to us.
No, I've got to get, let me get started on the Las Vegas GP. Crofty constantly saying someone took a gamble.
Oh, that's 100%.
One out constantly just about gambling. That'll be one. Somebody jumping in the Bellagio fountains, definitely in there.
Oh, that's how they're going to win the race. They're going to jump in there.
You think, or like they do with the NFL draft where they had the stage on the fountains. I saw somebody on
podiums
Reddit
on there.
I saw somebody on Reddit say, next thing you know, they're just going to walk it. They're going to put a stage in the Bellagio fountains. I was like, well, they've already done that. So yeah, I can see them.
They
do
that. And when it's the champagne time, they turn the fountain on.
Oh my God.
And they're just drenched in water and champaine.
Goodness,
cool them off a bit.
Harrison, please. It's a family podcast.
Vegas has to be a night race, right? Like
I think it is, right?
Surely they'll learn from this. The fact that this was not an evening race, it still blows my mind. I still don't understand, especially it's like sunset in Miami.
Well,
at the Hard Rock Stadium, the sun going down, put lights up. You're in a parking lot. Surely there were already lights in that parking lot. Just put some new ones. There's already electricity running. Come on now. It's Formula One. There are billions and billions of dollars. And you can't put a light in.
Now, did you see, speaking of billions and billions of dollars, you see where they actually purchased land along the Las Vegas Strip for Formula One?
Did they really?
Yeah, they bought like $240 million worth of land so they can put in the paddock, and then they just have it.
Good for them.
So they can have the Formula One casino.
Hey, they might. They got to do something with the rest of the year.
Anyway, something else that don't mean to go off topic, but I want to talk about your evil villain team, and that there's a rule about how cold the gas is.
That's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Now we're not engineers, but I haven't read anything about it. But does it improve or hinder the engine?
Ted was saying that the colder the fuel is, the better horsepower you get. So they had to.
They're cheaters.
There are regulations on that, and almost everybody refrigerates it, but they had for some reason got it too cold.
They forgot about it for a while.
Yeah,
It's fine. They didn't score points anyways, did they?
No, I don't think so.
Seb
no, and Lance,
what a poor moment between him and Nick.
It's okay. Sad. They'll blame Mick.
Sad for Lando, sad for Pierre.
You never see any of those things. We're just going to see somebody who's 10 seconds ahead. True. I am thankful for that. Lando, I'm sorry that you had to fall so others could fly, just so I didn't have to watch 15 seconds ahead.
Hey, they were, to be fair, they did show Lando's wreck live.
And as
Carlos, they were on Pierre going slow when he hit Lando.
Also, we'll never have the cool down room again ever since Carlos dropped the F-bomb and took off.
I like that.
Took off his shirt and said, just don't. And they told him to put his shirt back on. He said, just don't film me.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
they're so tired.
I hate, let them do whatever they want to do in that moment. They're out there in the heat, in the car, dying. Let them in and let them say whatever they want to say. It's a risky run. Like when you're asking people to do things after, it's like when people judge people after the race for the interviews, after you just got out, or after a football game or a basketball game, after you've just played an entire game, like, and expect you to act accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of, can we just write Formula One right now and ask that Willie T. Ribbs just never, ever let that senile old man give an post-race interview.
Harrison.
Listen,
That
he's an
man is a
icon.
legend.
He's a legend. He's an icon, but he does not need to be doing interviews.
Well,
that was the most awkward, uncomfortable thing I've had to watch. Well, you did a P2 and have you seen the video of Carlos walking off?
Yes.
And he just goes, he was like, what do I do? What was that? That was so awkward. You don't think that was awkward? Him trying to ask those
I thought
questions?
it was peak Miami. I don't know.
I mean, listen, we even thought it was funny. Danica's interview, right? I'm a big Danica Patrick as a host fan. The high five to Carlos, I've never laughed that hard in an interview after a race. Like, what in the world? He was like, wait, what? High five. And then you go from that straight into somebody who can't even formulate a sentence to ask the questions.
So basically,
I mean, come on.
Basically,
no disrespect to him, but that was hard to watch.
So what I'm hearing from you is you want something just absolutely as boring as possible.
No, I want. What was the guy in Italy who had all the energy, but you didn't really know what he was saying, but you could tell he was making full sentences? I like that guy.
Mario or Luigi.
David Coulthard, put them down there. Nico Rosberg.
Oh, the questions. Speaking of Mario Andretti, do you think that Zach Brown's actually going to give him the chance to drive?
Yeah. I genuinely do, because I think Zach Brown loves him. I think he would let him.
I'm hoping so too.
Honestly, do you think that you would want? This is so off topic, but do you think that you would want to meet Zach Brown?
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's that thing where it's like, don't meet your heroes. Don't meet your celebrity heroes because they'll let you down.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just scared that if I ran into Zach Brown, he might be mean to me.
Well, I mean, he already was, because he completely left us on read on our Instagram.
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? We go up, we talk to him. He's just an a-hole to us. Like, what are we supposed to do?
What if you meet Lando?
I think it's because he has like that big Papa Bear energy.
What if you meet Lando and he's just like,
I wouldn't be shocked, honestly.
Oh my gosh. It was like, it's just like Drive to Survive. It wasn't a lie at all.
Well, he's 21 years old and probably tired of people coming up to him. I just can't imagine the feeling that it is to just get mobbed like that.
I don't know. Hopefully the money helps.
I mean, sure. It is what you're signing up for, I guess. Hey, you think sorry, not to interrupt you. Do you think Nicholas Latifi after this weekend keeps his seat after what Alex Albon's doing?
No.
Do you think he makes it to the end of the year?
Is Albon driving that? Is the car garbage and Albon's just finding it, or is the car good and Latifi just doesn't have it?
Seems like the car is bad and Albon's just finding it, from what everybody seems to be saying. When Jenson Button, who's like their advisor, is just like shocked at what Alex Albon can do.
It's the dyed hair.
It is the dyed hair. And it also makes you wonder what's going on over at Red Bull.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on over at Red Bull. Checo doesn't have any power, and they say, yeah, you do. And he's like, oh, what?
He said, oh, sorry, are you oh, was that Max? Oh, it wasn't Max. Okay, we don't care. That's what's going on. There's not car number one. Okay. You're gonna need to suck it up, Checo, because you're not Max and we don't care about you.
Hey, if we just Checo would like to remind you, you only have a 1-year contract. And every year is an extension.
We'd like to remind you, your name is not Max Verstappen. And so you don't tell us what to do.
Copy. Fail 1, position 6.
He'd be like, okay, sorry, okay. Yeah, I feel bad for that second seat. And like, never mind, I don't know how did he not get past Carlos there at the end? I mean,
Carlos ran on magic.
I guess he was.
He's got it.
He had all those F words built up so he could use them in the
Mm-hmm.
cool down room. Also, I hate
So
when
we can be
people
cut.
apologize for the language. Like, I think people should just be able to talk.
Well, we just
Am I as the
clutch our
casual?
pearls.
Am I as the casual viewer? Now I get there's kids watching, but it's 2022. Come on. Am I as the casual viewer just supposed to think that these drivers are just very politically correct, day in, day out, never use foul language?
Mm-hmm.
They are just PR machines constantly. They're not like just saying things because they're trained to say them. They just act like that in real life. Am I just supposed to think that?
Yes.
Let me see the colorful language. Let me see some personality. If you're upset, be upset.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people are drawn to Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris. That's why people like Max.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to see if there's any I was looking to see if they'd said what the ratings were for the race yet, but I haven't seen anything.
Had to be pretty
see how many
big,
viewers.
seemingly. Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing that was also getting on my nerves about this race was the IndyCar drivers and the NASCAR drivers and the other racing series tweets, like pretty much like hating on Formula One and being like, all these people are wanting all this, but if it's you come to IndyCar, this is what it's like. We have this weekend, or NASCAR races are better. And it's like, yeah, but your marketing isn't the same, and it's also
different.
not. It's also not.
There's a prestige, if you will.
Yeah. Listen, just because you're salty that you're not in Formula One,
it's like the beautiful race. The beautiful
exactly.
race.
It's like the MLS hating on the Premier League. Money's there, constantly, but quality's not.
Well, hey, the MLS is coming back.
Anyways.
Cool. I think we touched on a lot of things.
What about Max? Max has won every race that he's finished.
Yes, he has.
Pretty impressive record.
I was also shocked. I think there was who was it? Lando was like
15 races.
Tied for like the current streak of most active races without DNF.
Pretty unlucky, but they were bad. McLaren was
were all over the place.
Yeah, I don't understand, but
he was looking for Snowflake or Snowball, whatever the name of them.
The dolphin.
The dolphin. Yeah.
Hey, I wish they would have had the only silly thing missing from this weekend was if they had a fish tank with a dolphin in it. Would have tied it all together.
Well, they had mermaids.
Oh, I forgot.
Ted interviewed the mermaid.
Yeah, I saw that. Again, it was for Instagram.
Yeah,
it was a fire festival, but for Instagram.
And mermaid's just like, I'm just here to get paid.
Yeah, it's awkward. That was a really awkward moment with him in that pool.
It was the kind of entertainment you'd find at a Hard Rock.
True. True.
I can't wait for the Margaritaville GP.
My aunt, I go around the island. Hey, so what are we saying? Miami a win or no?
I think it was fine. People are going to complain about everything, but they're just complaining because I don't know
I think they've got some notes to take for 2023.
Yes, I think it was a win.
I think it was a win, and I think that there's just a bunch of salty Europeans who think that America is the size of France or something. That 3 races in America is more spread out than almost all the races in Europe.
Yeah. Oh, well, they'll get over it. See y'all in Austin. Bet you'll still be there.
True, because Austin will be... Listen, we always talked about how they should just buy into the American and Texas, and they tried to buy into the Miami lifestyle a little too much.
You want to just get some general admission tickets? Just go.
To Austin?
Yeah.
I would love to, but I don't know that it would be the best idea for me to go. Just for the time frame.
Yeah.
Because unannounced, something could happen.
Oh, interesting. I guess that makes complete sense.
Yeah, I would hate to be there and then,
Yeah. Well, that'd be a fun story.
Miss the birth of my child for
it'd be
general admission.
Little I think you're naming after Michael Schumacher, little Schumi pal.
If whoever name it after whoever wins a race.
Yeah.
Hey,
Nice.
you know McLaren had to have been bad because they dropped that Lando's first win T-shirt in the store early.
Sorry, we already thought you'd have it, Lando.
Yeah,
Time's up.
they really dropped the ball there.
And our time's running up too. So, hey, if you would like to get in touch with us, you can email us, tracklimitspod@gmail.com, or you can find us on social media at tracklimitspod. You can leave mean comments for the stewards. You can
check out our YouTube.
Check out our YouTube page where you can see our beautiful faces. Bonus episode eventually. We do that still weekly. And yeah, thanks for listening. We had a great time. Any parting thoughts, Harrison?
We'll
be back next week to talk about Barcelona.
Listen, if you thought Miami was boring, I have some bad news for you. Find out next week here on Track Limits.
I'm glad you said that. All right, folks, we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye.